spending bill that passed in Congress last month. Reports say he's considering using a rarely used 44-year-old law to trim billions of dollars from it. A backlash from the party's conservative base, certainly forcing the White House to at least consider this tool, which is called rescission, allowing the president to put a 45-day hold on the budget and ask Congress to remove some items. The last time it happened, it has happened before, was under President Clinton. But what about this time, given the divisions in Congress? Would Republicans go for it, and what about Democrats? Let's bring Patrice Lee Onwuka in, Independent Women's Forum. Also, Steve Lonegan joins us, Republican candidate for Congress in the state of New Jersey. Let me go to you first, Steve, on this, and the question about the Trump base and the backlash he received after threatening a veto but going ahead with this bill. He really heard it from of some of his supporters, right?
Oh, you certainly did. There's a lot of disappointment amongst the conservative base, and I think a lot of fiscally prudent Americans in general that weren't expecting such a massive spending bill seems almost reckless, and many of us believe that it was something that was forced on the president by the president, by a Congress that was really not held accountable. What's remarkable about the use of the Congressional Budget Impact Act, it allows the president to pull out line item spending, freeze it, and say, you know what, maybe we really don't need $500 million for a bridge in Afghanistan or another spending program, and then Congress has to address each line item, in essence putting it out into the public for debate and see if the fiscally responsible Congress really wants to act that way. It's really going to be a remarkable use.
It's about the closest thing, to your point, to a line item veto that you're going to get, because you don't have a line item veto. We showed some video of the president walking into that room. I thought it was about the most somber looking president you'll see at what is supposed to be a bill signing ceremony when he did sign this. Let's listen real quick to what he said that day, because it's important, Patrice, and then we'll come back and get your views on it. Here's the president.
There are a lot of things that we shouldn't have had in this bill, but we were, in a sense, forced. If we want to build our military, we were forced to have. There are some things that we should have in the bill. But I say to Congress, I will never sign another bill like this again. I'm not going to do it again.
That was it, Patrice. I'll never do this again. And now he's saying, you know what? Maybe I'll just take back what's already been done. He threatened the veto, remember, that day, and is now, as Steve and I were talking about, trying to rescind some of this. He'd need Democratic support in the Senate, right? At least, or lack of objections. Will he get it? Any chance?
It's going to be very difficult. I mean, anytime we can talk about rescinding spending, I think that's a great conversation to have. The political realities, though, make it really challenging. I mean, you're talking about, taking back popular programs, both at the federal and state level, and Democrats are going to balk at it because, some people have considered this spending bill, something that President Obama would love.
Well, they were the ones bragging about it, right? The Democrats.
Absolutely, based on some of the, absolutely, based on the domestic spending. So they're not likely to be on board to see line item cuts to some of the programs that they've seen increase. What's also interesting, though, are Republicans. You're going to have some who are more than willing to have that debate and that fight about what we should be spending our federal tax dollars on. But those who are in more vulnerable positions, particularly senators, Republican senators, they're going to be in a tough spot to try to defend taking back money going to their states and popular programs. So it's going to be difficult to do.
It's a good point. As a final point, Steve, what I'm hearing is that this might make the president look a little better with the base who beat him up, as we were talking about over this, but the idea of actually getting it done, of rescinding the spending, that seems to me like a long shot. Am I wrong?
I don't think it's a long shot at all, because there is no limit to the number of line items that he can pull out of the budget and say, I'm impounding this, now debate it and explain to the American people why you're spending this money. This is going to be a remarkable expose on how fiscally responsible Congress really is. And many of these members of Congress who say they're fiscally prudent, now they're going to have to prove themselves. And it's going to. This is the way the system should be going into the budget process. Instead of us having these omnibus spending bills, each one of these items should be debated individually within various committees. It should have been like this before.
Yeah,
I think this is a remarkable political
because
move.
It might bring it out in the open. We'd at least have to talk about it and debate it. Thanks, guys. We have to move on, but we appreciate it. Steve, Patrice, good to see both of you. Lauren.
Thank you.